Alright, room 3. Welcome to part 3 and the finale of the Linux Fundamentals module. So far throughout the series you've got your hands on some fundamental concepts and used some important commands. This room is going to showcase some useful utilities and applications that you're likely to use day to day. You're also going to advance your Linux foo skills by learning about automation, package management and service application logging. So deploy your Linux machine. Start. Okay. I have logged on to the Linux Fundamental. Okay, no, I haven't done that. Let's wait for it to start. Right. Well, waiting. What's everyone up to today? Are you streaming later today, JB, as well? Because if you are, I'll have a raid coming your way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Supposed to be streaming right now.
Oh. Well, yeah. Don't feel the need. Once I've wrapped this room up, I'll send everyone your way. If you don't take them all with you, obviously.
But University and this website have me distracted.
Oh, true. Always watch multi-streams.
I always watch multi-streams.
I find when you watch the multi-streams of like outside of Twitch, they've put that thing in now, so like it'll put some pink screen on there saying like, "Oh, you're not watching on Twitch." It's like, yeah, I know, because I want to watch like loads at once. Stop interrupting me. Alright, so let's clear this out. SSH. Try hack me 71.245.
Cheers 11 says.
Gino wants to watch me hack Amazon.
I want to watch you hack Amazon. I'd like to see you get like an absolutely fat payout from doing something like that.
25 smile.
Less RCE Amazon. Right, this thing still hasn't come up. They should have told you about like, so if you press up, like you go through your bash history, don't you? It'd be well good to sort of explain that to people. Like, you don't have to type the same thing in every time.
Cheers 11 says.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. If you like managed to buy stuff, but in a way that meant that you didn't get charged, would they let you keep the stuff? Like, just order like loads, like 1,000 drones or something.
So many XML requests.
Oh really? Like, yeah, it must be littered with like XXE somewhere.
MZ says.
Hi, Christy.
Cheers 11 says.
Lol, you would have to buy it from yourself.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course, because you can't break out the scope and buy. Or like not even like using someone else's account to buy stuff. I mean, like just if you somehow found a way that you could pay using like, I don't know, some like spoofed gift card or something. Like there must be like.
XML calls and very few JSON calls.
I hate XML. It's like such a horrible thing to work with. The dreaded soap. Password try hack me.
I didn't even think think about spoofing gift cards?
Yeah, just brute force the gift cards.
Can we hide your gift card number? Lamau.
Cool, so we're logged in. So we're finally ready. 5 minutes to get the bloody box to start SSH. Right, terminal text editors. Please don't make me use Vim. Throughout the series so far, we've only stored text in files using a combination of echo and the pipe operators. This isn't an efficient way to handle data when you're working with files with multiple lines and sorts. And the sorts. So we introduced terminal text editors. There are a few options in that you can use. All have a variety of friendliness and utility. This task is going to introduce you to Nano, yes, but also show you an alternative. No, I hate Vim. So it's easy to get started with Nano. To create and edit a file using Nano, we simply use Nano file name, placing file name with the name of the file you wish to edit. Once we enter to execute...
No, you don't hate Vim.
I do hate Vim, it's fucking horrible. Once we press enter...
Cheers 11 says.
Forrester log exception.
Once we press enter to execute the command, @nano will launch. Here we can just begin by entering or modifying text. You can navigate each line using up and down arrow keys and start a new line by entering on a keyboard. Nano has a few features that are easy to remember and covers the most general things you would need out of a text editor, including searching, copy, pasting, jumping to line number, finding out what line you're on. You can use all these features in Nano by pressing Control key, which is represented as a caret on Linux and corresponding letter. For example, to exit, we would press Control X. Vim. Vim is much more advanced text editor. Whilst you're not expected to know all advanced features, like how to exit the program, it's helpful to mention it for powering up your Linux skills. Some Vim benefits, albeit taking longer time to familiarise yourself with. It is customizable, has syntax highlighting. Okay, that's quite good.
The site LMFAO.
Have they?
Christy says.
Much more advanced, yeah.
What have they hacked?
Cheers 11 says.
Probably shouldn't have had unmanaged users sign in on a WordPress site.
On what site? What, Amazon?
Web link.
Nightbot says.
HTTPS
Oh.
11. Greater than what are you?
Oh, you got timed out, whoops.
Stop posting links. Warning.
Oh, is this your website that you've been managing?
Cheers 11 says.
Holy shit, night.
Don't worry, I got the link so I can see it. So that's it. So did they not follow your recommendations when they set it up? You should charge them a cyber fee. Like, yeah, to put this all back to normal, I'm going to have to charge you the full stack data recovery high availability fee, which is...
Nah.
Christy says.
Nightbot the link's guard.
Right, so create a file. Let's see where we are first. Task 3. So, Nano
Cheers 11 says.
test.
They didn't remove the user add-in register.
That was hard. Edit task 3 located in the home directory using Nano. What's the flag? THM text editors. It doesn't get you to use Vi. Why does it? Why would it even tell you about Vim? It doesn't get you to do anything with it. I would have thought they'd at least go like, oh yeah, open this in. And then spend all fucking day trying to figure out how to exit.
MZ says.
Offers a new room to learn Vim.
UA.
You will alt F4.
UA. Yes, I know. Just quit. What is this shit? Like, who uses this? QA bang. Just, there we go. Thank fuck for that. Just, bye. Horrible. Hate it.
Cheers 11 says.
Fundamentals of infrastructure security is a cool class.
Christy says.
Career development sucks.
Translated from Romanian.
Yeah, my career spans like 15 years and I still can't fucking close Vim.
Development sucks.
Right, downloading files. This is a pretty fundamental feature of computing. Ability to transfer files. For example, you may want to download a program, script or a picture. Thankfully for us, there's multiple ways in which you can retrieve the files. We're going to cover the use of Wget. This command allows you to download files from the web via HTTP if you're accessing files as if you were accessing files in your browser. We simply need to provide the address of the resource that we wish to download. For example, if we wanted to download a file named myfile.txt onto the machine, assuming I knew the web address, it would look something like this. Transferring files from your host. SCP, secure copy. It's just that. It means securely copying files. Unlike the regular CP command, this command allows you to transfer files between two computers using SSH protocol to provide both authentication and encryption.
Who sat there and said we need a class where we spend a week on every page of a resume, then give our students 3 days to find someone to do an informational interview? Web link.
What do you have to do for the informational interview? Do you have to find like an actual job?
Can I interview myself? At anyone available for an informational interview now?
What's the informational interview? Like, who's the target?
I just have to ask a security professional about their job.
Well, you can ask me. It's shit. Everything is crap. No one does what they're told. You spend your whole time fucking going mental. Yeah, there you go. Right, interview over.
Perfect.
Yeah. Don't click the link. Click the link.
Ow.
Translated from Romanian.
Alright. SCP is a bit complex. So, like, you still got SCP, file you want to send, then the host and your username, where you want to put it. Right. Let's reverse this for the following. Let's reverse this and lay the syntax out to copy a file from the remote that we are not logged into. So yeah, so to send it to, it's that. To send it from, it's SCP, then the host and its remote location to wherever the hell it's going. Alright, serving files from your host. Ubuntu machines come pre-packaged with Python 3. Python provides a lightweight and easy to use module called HTTP Server This module turns your computer into a quick and easy web server that you can use to serve your own files, where they can be downloaded by another computer using commands such as curl and wget. Python 3's HTTP server will serve the files in the directory that you can run the command, but this can be changed by providing options that can be found in manual pages. Simply, all we need to do is run python 3-m http.server to start the module. In the screenshot below, we are serving from a directory called web server. This has a single file named file. No wait, which has a single named file. Yeah, I think they've got a typo there. But yeah, this is awesome because you can host any file, even malicious ones, and get them onto hosts on the network that you've infiltrated. So this is like super useful, this one command. So now let's use wget to download the file using the computer's IP address and the name of the file. One flaw with this module is that you have no way of indexing, so you must know the exact name and location of the file you wish to use. That's why I prefer to use updog. What's updog? A more advanced, lightweight web server. Please tell me that's a link to the office. Nah. Okay. But yeah, a more advanced, lightweight web server. For now, let's stick to using Python's web server. In the screenshot above, we can see that wget has successfully downloaded the file named file to our machine. The request is logged by simple HTTP server, much as any web server would, which I've captured in the screenshot below. So ensure you are connected to the deployment instance. I am. Yes. Now use Python's HTTP server module to start a web server. So from here, which directory does it want? From the home directory of TryHackMe, good. Alright, Python 3-m http.server. Started. So now we can download that file. Ding. Create and download the files to further apply your learning. See how you can read the documentation on the server module. Use Control-C to stop the module once you've finished. So, stop. Process it. Whoa, there we go. Processes 101. Processes are the programs that are running on your machine. They are managed by the kernel, where each process will have an ID associated with it, also known as its PID. PID increments for the order in which the process starts, i.e. the 60th process will have a PID of 60. Viewing processes. We can use the friendly PS command to provide a list of running processes as our user session.
Colonel is the best chicken.
Right. Running processes as our user session and some additional information such as its status code. The only problem is it's microbytes. Oh dear. Alright, the session that's running it, how much usage time of the CPU is using it, and the name of the actual program or commands that are being executed. Note how the screenshot above, the second process PS has a PID of 204, and then in the command below it has the incremented to 205. To see the processes run by other users and those that don't run from a session, i.e. system processes, we need to provide AUX to the PS command like so, PS AUX. Note that we can see a total of 5 processes. Note how we now have root and CMNatic. Another very useful command is the top command. Top gives you real-time statistics about the processes running on your system. Instead of a one-time view, these statistics will refresh every 10 seconds, but it will also refresh when you use arrow keys to browse various rows. Another great command to gain insight into your system is top. To manage processes, you can send signals that terminate processes. There are a variety of types of signals that correlate to exactly how cleanly the process is dealt with by the kernel. To kill a command, we simply use the appropriately named kill command and the associated PID that we wish to kill, i.e. kill PID 1337. We'd use kill 1137.
Nightbot says,
You can change your TDS voice here. Web link.
Below are some of the signals that we can use to send the process when it's killed. Sigterm kills the process but allow it to do some cleanup. Sigkill
THM says,
Did you ever hear of the band 994? Web link. Never got a gig drum royalty.
oh dear. You should do like cyber stand-up. Quite funny. All the dad jokes. Sig stop stops and suspends the process. How do processes start? Let's start off by talking about namespaces. The operating system uses namespaces to ultimately split up resources available on the computer to such as CPU, RAM, and priority. Think of it as splitting your computer into slices similar to a cake. Processes within that slice will have access to a certain amount of computing power. However, there will be a small portion of what it is actually available for every process overall. Namespaces are great for security as it's a way of isolating processes from each other. Only those that are in the same namespace will be able to see each other. We previously talked about how PID works, and this is where it comes into play. The process with ID of 0 is a process that is started when the system boots. This process is in the systems init on Ubuntu, such as systemd, which is used to provide a way of managing a user's processes and sits in between the operating system and the user. For example, once the system boots and it initializes, systemd is one of the first processes that started. Any program or piece of software that we want to start will start what's known as a child process of systemd. This means that it is controlled by systemd. But it will run its own process, although sharing the resources from systemd to make it easier for us to identify and the like. Getting processes services start on boot. Some applications can be started on the boot of the system that we own. For example, web servers, database servers, file transfer services. These software is often critical and it's often told to start during boot up. In this example, we're going to be telling the Apache web server to be starting Apache manually and then telling the system to launch Apache 2 on boot. Enter the use of systemctl. This command allows us to interact with systemd processes or daemons. Continuing on with our example, systemctl is an easy-to-use command that takes the following formatting. Systemctl option service. For example, to tell Apache to start up, we'll use systemctl start Apache 2. This seems simple enough. Same as if we wanted to stop Apache, we just replace option with stop. We can do 4 options with systemctl: start, stop, enable, disable. An introduction to backgrounding and foregrounding. So the processes can run in 2 states, in the background and in the foreground. For example, commands that you want to run in terminal, such as echo, or things that will run, I think it means all things that sort will run in the foreground of your terminal. It is only command provided that hasn't been told to run in the background. Echo is a great example as the output of the echo will return to you in the foreground. It wouldn't in the background. Take the screenshot below, for example. Here we're running echo high THM, where we expect the output to be returned to us like it is at the start, but after adding the AND operator to the command, we're instead just given the ID of the echo process rather than the actual output, as it is running in the background. This is great for commands such as copying files because it means that we can run the command in the background and continue on with whatever further commands we wish to execute without having to wait for the file copy to finish first. We can do the exact same thing with executing like scripts. Rather than relying on the AND operator, we can use Ctrl-Z on our keyboard to background a process. It's also an effective way of pausing the execution of a script command in the example below. This script will keep on repeating. This will keep on looping until I stop or suspend the process by using Ctrl-Z as indicated by the T_Z. So that bit. Now the terminal is no longer filled up with messages until we foreground it, which we'll discuss below. So to foreground a process, now that we have the process running in the background, for example our script background.sh, which can be confirmed by using the ps-aux command, we can backpedal and bring this process back into the foreground to interact with. With our processes backgrounded, using either Ctrl-Z or the AND operator, we can use FG to bring this back into the focus like below, where we can see the FG command is being used to bring the background process back into the terminal. Right, so we have red. If we were to launch a process where the previous ID was 300, what would the next ID be? 301. If we wanted to cleanly kill a process, what signal would we send it? Second? What was the name of it? Sigterm. That's the one. Second. What am I talking about? Locate the process that is running on the deployed instance. What flag is given? Have we not started it? What we doing? PS AUX. Whoa. Locate the process that is running on the deployed instance. What? Locate the process that... I mean, there's loads. Oh, like, obviously that one, but... It doesn't... I was expecting, like, a bit more guidance there, not just to look for one that looks like a flag. Like, maybe what PID is this? Although I guess it wouldn't know, would it? So... what command would we use to stop the service my service? We would use systemctl stop my service. What command would we use to start the same service on boot up of the system? Systemctl. What's the boot up one? It's not boot, is it? Start on boot. Is it just enable? What command would we use to bring a previously backgrounded task to the foreground? FG. What have we got here? Cron Tabs, nice. Right, so automation. Users may want to schedule a certain action or task to take place after the system boots. Take, for example, running commands, backing up files, launching your favorite programs, and so on. We're going to be talking about the cron process, but more specifically how we can interact with it via the use of cron tabs. Cron tab is one of the processes that started at boot. It's responsible for facilitating and managing cron jobs. A cron tab is simply a special file that, with formatting, that is recognized by the cron process to execute each line step by step. Cron tabs required 6 specific values. So you have minutes, hours, days, months, weeks, and the actual command. Let's use the example of backing up files. You may wish to back up CNATIX documents every 12 hours. We would use the following format. So, we'd 0 minutes, 12 hours, and then like the defaults, copy documents to backups. Bluehost fixed it, nice. Do they give you any insights as to like the logs and stuff as to like what actually happened?
Weblink works now.
Nightbot says.
At Spears 11, greater than suboptimal. Stop posting links. Warning.
Stop posting links.
Spears 11 says.
Nope, they don't give you shit. They just fix it.
I just got a white screen.
Logs myself.
White screen of death. Oh, there we go. Still loading. Okay. I thought this had a like a blue background before. So,
Loading very slow.
yeah. It's got to send the data all the way around the planet to reach me.
Wow, that's not how it's supposed to look, little.
Does it look like that on yours, or is it just Linux fucking stuff up? Fair play. Doesn't look like that on my other box.
I think Linux is fucking with it.
Yeah, it looks fine on Windows.
MZ says.
Or VB ever crash with 0 by 00 memory BS?
VB ever crash? No. How much memory did you give it? Ensure you are connected and running cron tabs. Let's just clear cron tabs.
Half
Ooh,
APU.
Half 8, so 4 gig. When will the cron tab on the deployed instance run? The fuck? What? Oh, cron tab does E. Yeah, okay. Did it fucking say that earlier? No. Yeah, there. Cron tabs can be edited using cron tab E. Okay, I missed that entirely. Right, so we're editing cron tab. When will the cron tab on the deployed instance run, it will run on reboot. Yeah, that's the answer. Right. I was thinking then if it was going to get me to like reverse the cron into like get 5 hours every week. Alright. Introducing packages and software repos. When developers wish to submit software to the community, they will submit it to an apt repository. If approved, their programs and tools will be released into the wild. Two of the most redeeming features of Linux shine to light here: user accessibility and the merit of open source tooling. When using the ls command on Ubuntu 20.04 Linux machine, these files serve as the gateway/registry. So you've got the files themselves and then the source locations. While operating system vendors will maintain their own repositories, you can also add community repositories to your list. This allows you to extend the capabilities of your OS. Additional repositories can be added by using the add apt repository command or by listing another provider. For example, some vendors will have a repository that is closer to their geographical location. Normally, we would use apt command to install software onto our Ubuntu system. The apt command is part of a package management software, also named apt. Apt contains a whole suite of tools that allows us to manage the packages and sources of our software, and to install or remove software at the same time. Let's walk through adding and removing the repository using add apt repository command we illustrated above. While you can also install software through the use of package installers such as dpkg, the benefits of apt mean that whenever we update our system, the repository that contains the pieces of software that we add also gets checked for updates. In this example, we're going to add the text editor Sublime Text to our Ubuntu machine as a repository. Going to add the text editor Sublime Text to our Ubuntu machine as a repository, as it's not part of the default repository when adding software. Do they mean my machine? I'm not doing it on... Oh, we are doing it on that one. Okay, right, cool. I was going to say I've already done this. I've literally got... I've been there, done that.
Apt equals YAML.
So, okay, so let's download the key. Paste. Try hack me. Oh, why is it getting me to do... What? Okay, it's not getting me to do it, it's just saying you have to read it. Okay, right. I bought that idea. But yeah, to do this you have to import their not PGP, their GPG key. That lets you then trust their repository, then you add their repository, and then you can finally do the apt install. Right, cool. Right, logs. We briefly touched upon log files and where they can be found in Linux Fundamentals Part 1. However, let's quickly recap. Located in the var log directory, these files and folders contain logging information for applications and services running on your system. The operating system has become pretty good at automatically managing these logs in a process that is known as rotating. I've highlighted some logs from 3 services running on Ubuntu machine, an Apache 2 web server, logs for the failed to ban service, which is used to monitor attempted brute forces, The UFW service, which is used as a firewall. These
uses Blackman or something like that. Is it SAP low?
Yeah, and what did Seuss use? I swear Seuss had its own thing. Zyper or Zipper. Yeah, there's loads now, isn't there? Right, so we're going to look for the logs on the deployable Linux machine. So cd/var/logs log. Apache 2. So there we go. So done. What is the IP address of the user who visited the site? Access.log. Ooh, access denied.
127.1.
Access.log.1. It's this one. Okay, so we're going to open that one. So we've got copy selection 10.9.2.3.2.1. What file did they access? They accessed catsanddogs.jpg. Conclusions. Welcome to the end of the Linux Fundamentals module. Your familiarity with Linux will improve as you get to interact with it over time. Linux has the potential to do very powerful things with relative ease, as you have hopefully discovered throughout this module. To recap, this room instructs you to do the following topics: using terminal text editors, Vim, general utilities such as downloading and serving contents using a Python web server, a look at processes, maintaining and automating your system by the use of Cron Tabs, package management, and reviewing logs. Continue your learning in some other Try-Hack-Me rooms that are dedicated to Linux tools and utilities. Vim. It's like a curse word.
90% of this if we don't use it.
Christy says,
I came here, I came low.
translated from Portuguese.
Right, so to continue your learning, some of the other rooms dedicated to Linux tools or utilities, the find command, that's the one that we had open earlier. Bash scripting, that would be quite fun. Let's get rid of the flag. And regex, regular expressions.
Cheers 11 says,
So terminate.
I stayed for the Vim.
I came for the accent and I stayed for Vim. What do you use? I think I've seen you use Vim a few times. I'd be alright with Vim, I just need to learn the bloody shortcuts. I'd have to use it in anger, but I just don't see the point. Nano, okay, yes, you're a Nano man.
I can't stand Vim. Lol.
I mean, yeah, this is why I downloaded Sublime, because, like, you know, if you've got, like, a load of text, this is from that Panda thing, but yeah, if you just, like, want to select all these things, and then you go selection, into lines, you get multiple cursors. I mean, it's great. You can then just sort of muck about. So if I wanted to just type Like, why wouldn't I use a UI to do my text editing? Just don't see the point of having it all in a... Yeah.
I love that.
So, like... So you select all of that, split into lines, Oosh. There you go, and just cut it out. You can just, like, why wouldn't I do that? Why would I piss around with it?
I don't usually have GUI on my boxes though, cause they're in the AWS.
Oh yeah, true. Well, then you could just copy it to your box and tinker, I guess.
But I'm putting Sublime on my local VM now.
Hey, cool, so we've got a convert. Right, that is it. So, let's see, what's my stuff done?
Christy says,
Thing is, if our Linux crashes and you need to debug it, you won't have Sublime, you will have Vi only.
True. You could just rip the hard drive out and put it in a machine that works. Cool. So yeah, we've really moved 60 points just by doing that fundamentals course. We moved what, 12 points into fundamentals, and we've just by doing the Linux introductions, we've gone from top 8% to top 7. So yeah, more people need to use this tool because it completely skews the numbers. Like, you must have to be in the top 1% of the top 1% to really be any good. But yeah, yay, finally getting some skills matrix movement. Let's see who we've got to raid.